Jim, it's great to see you again. Unusual for us to be chatting this way. Most of the time it was in bus journeys all over the UK with the Eagles team, but great to have you here in Braehead tonight for a very special occasion. 20 years since the Grand Slam success. Is that believable? Does it feel like 20 years?
Well, no, it doesn't, because when you contacted me the other day and Gareth contacted me, it's not till you start doing the math you realize 20 years has gone so fast. But initially when you bring it up, you start thinking of things right away. A lot of the good times, a few bad ones, but it was a great time, and I'm just really grateful that it was a nice gesture for the Braehead clan to have me here tonight and to represent the Air Eagles, because it's not just me. It was starting at the top. You had Bar Construction, Bill Barr, Kenny McLeod. You had all the backroom staff, yourself included. Kevin, you were there since day one. And of course all the players that built up the team over the years. It wasn't just that particular year, it was all the players leading up to that made it a great season. And it's kind of funny tonight, appropriate that we're playing Fife Flyers tonight, because the one name I really wanted to, that deserves a huge bit of credit, but he's kind of been forgotten through his passing, is Milan Fagala. He was the first import in the early 80s to come to Fife as well. And then he came down with me to Braehead, or to Ayr, so it's a funny combination. But he was a huge part of our success there, and I wish he was here.
Yeah, I agree with that, Jim. And those that we certainly haven't forgotten him. Milan's a big part of the story. 20 years, you've had a lot of time to reflect on it, I guess. What was it that made that team so successful? What was the blend that made it work?
Well, I mean, it might sound like a hindsight thing, but it wasn't. We took a lot of time. I took a lot of time in not just the ability of the players, but off ice, what they were like. We did a lot of background checking and a lot of investigation into what they were like, and it turned out very few of them knew each other, but it just turned out they were a great group of guys that got along, and I think they had a common bond in that it was a first-year team, a Scottish team against all the English teams in the Super League. Yeah. And we had a great captain. Angelo Catanero was a great mesh between myself, the players, the fans, and it just instantly took off. And we had a reasonable first season, as you remember, and then it just took off the second year.
Yeah, it was a tremendous achievement, and then the next year that took us into Europe, and the achievements there were great as well. From what I remember, we had 3 wins and a tie in the Czech Republic as well that we lost in penalty shots. What did you take the most satisfaction from? Because I guess taking British hockey into that level and doing well was a great thing for the sport.
It's kind of funny. The most satisfaction, unfortunately, my wife was born in Russia, so it seems kind of maybe a bit evil to say this, but the most pleasure I got out of that tournament was beating the Russian champions home and away. Yeah. Because that is, you can't really equate that to a football mentality in this country, but it's like a lower division team beating a Premier League team twice. After only been in existence 2 years. So I would have to say the Russian games were the highlight for me.
They were great nights. Tonight, hopefully you'll have a great night here as well, Jim. We're up against the Fife Flyers here in Braehead, and that's a team that's a big part in the Lynch history as well. Well,
yes. My son still coaches in the junior program there, and that was the first team I came to when I left Toronto in 1980-81. I came to the Fife Flyers, and a different type of hockey back then, but I think it was the Heineken League was sponsoring back then, and it was getting built up, and it was maybe almost as popular as in the mid-80s as it is now, because it's kind of secular, it goes down and then comes up again, but it's nice to see it more level now, and everybody's doing well.
You've done the rounds of a lot of clubs in Scotland, Paisley Pirates on the roster, and Priest Border Vikings as well, but we can't forget that big success you had early in your career, taking Murrayfield to the championship. That must have been a great time for you too.
Well, that was a great feeling, because Murrayfield at that time had so many great players, like years before I got there as well, and they just had a struggle a bit to get over that hurdle to finally win a championship, and I was fortunate to take over from Alec Dampier, and I became the player coach that year, and things just took off there as well, and we had a good group of guys, and we got fortunate to get into Wembley, the old 4-team setup, and we only had to win 2 games. Unfortunately, we won them both, so that was another great memory as well.
It's been a great career, Jim. When you look back on your coaching career in the UK, you must take a lot of satisfaction from it.
It's great, yeah, and I think pretty much every team we were connected with, because Milan was with me as well, and Dumfries. We always did reasonably well, and that's satisfying. You don't really want to go into a town and sort of disrupt things and turn it upside down and turn it into a bit of a mess. So I like to think we left everything in good shape, and it's nice to come here tonight and see, although it's two different teams, two different organizations, it's still nice because I've lived in Scotland all the time. It's nice to see a team in central west of Scotland doing well again, and wish them all the best this year and years to come.
Jim, I'm sure there's a lot of people here tonight. You'll see a lot of Eagles jerseys out there in the crowd tonight. I'm sure a lot of people wish you well this evening. It's a pleasure to honour you tonight. Congratulations once again on that success 20 years ago.
Thank you very much. It was a lovely gesture for the clan to have us here, and I'm looking forward to tonight's game.
Great. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks.